Outer Banks is back on Netflix for season 3. Let's talk about the newest season and see if it's worth your time. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services like Netflix. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. After losing the gold and fleeing the Outer Banks, season 3 finds the Pogues washed ashore on an island. Officially deemed Poguelandia, the island's newest resident spends her day fishing and swimming and enjoying a carefree lifestyle of their temporary dwelling. But things quickly go south for John B's Sarah, Kiara, Pope, JJ, and Cleo when they find themselves once again caught up in a race for the treasure, quite literally running for their lives. Outer Banks reminds me, unfortunately, of COVID, as that first season came out during that summer, and I enjoyed watching that first season. Season 2 is great as well. It's got that fun adventure feel to it where it feels like there's a lot of drama within it as well. And season 3 is absolutely filled with drama and adventure to the brim. This is a great season. I enjoy Outer Banks and the characters within it. There's so much in here that I have to unpack, but I will not be giving any spoilers for any of the events or characters because there's a lot of drastic things that happen within here. Our main characters live on this island that they deemed Poguelandia for a very brief amount of time, just like the first episode of this season. But when we get the characters home, that's when the real treasure hunt begins. And we have seen from the trailers Ward Cameron and John B's father in here as well. But with having John B's father in here, which is great for John B, it really separates John B from the group for like a good majority of the season. John B and his father are spending a lot of time trying to find artifacts and clues to El Dorado, the city of gold. And there's this ruthless Caribbean Don who wants the city of gold, and he needs John B's father. So John B and his father are looking for all these artifacts, spending a lot of time together. And we get to really know John B's father within this season. Unfortunately, since them two spend a lot of time together, it really separates John B from the rest of the group. You don't feel like this group is as strong as previous seasons. And that's unfortunate because I really do like the group. They rely on each other. They are really good friends. And we see that in here. We understand that they are great friends, but they are separated a lot. Kiara's parents don't want her to spend time with JJ and John B, so they're really involved in her life now. And Pope is debating about going back to school. Cleo's just kind of in the mix of everything. There's a lot that's happening to these characters that are separating them from each other. But when they need to come together to protect each other and help each other out, that is when they are the strongest. And that's like the later half of season 3, is that they get together and try to find this treasure and help each other. But for a good majority, unfortunately, they do spend a lot of time apart. And that's really testing relationships, especially John B and Sarah, who don't feel like the strongest couple within this season. They feel very distant from each other. And they do touch upon that quite often. And there are some things that happen to the two that really test them, but they spend a lot of time apart. And I think we had some added development for John B since he is with his father. We get to know a different side of him. And since these characters are all doing different things within season 3, we get to know them in a new light rather than having them as a group. We get to see them kind of all individually. We get to learn a little more about them. Now, there is a lot of drama. Like I said, since they are separated, these characters are off doing different things, and it adds to the drama. We have John B's father and Ward Cameron in here who's trying to protect his daughter, and like a new character within here. Rafe is hungry for revenge, and we get a lot of Rafe in here, and his character takes this turn that I did not see coming, and adds to those dramatic scenes in here. The relationships, the group is tested. There's so much drama in here, and it was filled to the brim. It was just nonstop. And there's at times where I feel like they were delaying some episodes and delaying the end of the season just to have have some drama and some added dramatic scenes within it. Something that happened, things that happen to Kiara or JJ or Pope, whoever it is. There's things that happen to them. At times it feels a little bit unnecessary when you look at where this series is headed and getting to the end of the 10th episode. It feels like they're taking these little stops to have these moments, delaying the end of it just so you can have these moments that try to shock you and have some dramatic scenes. It's just kind of slowing things down, especially at the end. I feel like episode 8, 9, and 10 had so much going on with JJ and Kiara and John B and Sarah that they were delaying the end, looking for El Dorado, and there was so much happening in here. It was hard to keep up with these little side stories that were going on because there was a lot of them. Now, the adventure feel to it. That's one thing I loved about Outer Banks, is the vibe to it, that adventure feel. And they are looking for El Dorado, looking for artifacts and clues that could help them get there. Maps, questioning people, getting information, whatever it is. The adventure feel to it is great. The last episode, the 10th episode, I don't want to spoil it, but it is so good. It's probably one of the best Outer Banks episodes. You get to kind of see everything that's been leading up to that episode. It's heavy on the adventure feel, treasure hunting. It is epic. The last episode is very long as well. I think it's like an hour and 18 minutes. So you get to spend a lot of time treasure hunting and twists and turns left and right. It is great. This season is filled with drama and adventure. The characters are great in here. At times, they do act out of character. There's a couple scenes in here, not for every single character, a couple of them, where they do something that just doesn't feel like who they are. Think of a few characters and few specific scenes where they do something and you're questioning, what was the point of that, especially with the writing too, but for the characters, like, why did you do that and what did it lead to within this series? And at times you look at it and you think, okay, that was a little unnecessary, a little out of character, it just feels off. And at times I question some of the writing for the characters, but nonetheless, these characters are very likable. They're going through a lot, especially Sarah. She's broke. She does not have a home. She has a struggling relationship with John B, since he's spending a lot of time with his father. Cleo's just kind of thrown in the mix. She's enjoying everything that's going on. Pope and JJ, they're all going through a lot. And at times it feels a little bit unrealistic with what they're going through, but also that relationships and the friendships that are going on does feel very genuine and realistic. And that's one thing I like about Outer Banks, is that look into that relationships and the drama within it all and what these characters bring to the table. Filled with all the great adventures. The direction looks great. The scenery, all of it looks beautiful. Outer Banks Season 3 is a good time. It's filled with drama, filled with adventure. The characters are separated, unfortunately, for most of the season, so you get to know them in a new light. But we get a lot of John B's father in here, and he's a pretty good character. Very interesting at times in seeing what he's really focused on. But that hunt for the gold at El Dorado is really epic. The villain in here, this Caribbean Don, starts off really strong, really sinister, but then kind of just fades away throughout the middle parts, and I really don't get to know him too much. It's a very sinister vibe from this character. You felt that urgency in the beginning of the season. So if you enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Outer Banks, I think you will enjoy season 3. There's a lot of big twists and turns for these characters, a lot of dramatic scenes, things that will shock you if you are into the first 2 seasons, but it sets up perfectly for season 4, which they've already greenlit, so I'm looking forward to that. So before I give you my score for Outer Banks Season 3 on Netflix, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie-related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Outer Banks Season 3 a B+. Thank you guys for checking my review for Outer Banks Season 3 on Netflix. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up-and-coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.